June 2010. A lone hiker in Chaco Culture National Historical Park stumbles upon the body of an unknown animal.
It had a large cavity. I couldn't see any internal organs. Inside, there was just a void. I've never seen any creature like this.
This is Mysteries at the National Parks. Chaco Culture National Historical Park. Hidden in a canyon in northwestern New Mexico, Chaco is the site of the Anasazi ruins, an archaeological treasure over 800 years old. It's considered one of the greatest architectural achievements of Native American culture. But for some, Chaco also has a dark side. It's believed that within these breathtaking structures lie inexplicable forces. August 2008, lone hiker Todd Hayen explores the mysterious ruins of Chaco Canyon.
I went essentially on an archaeological journey that was spiritual, and I was very interested in ancient primal cultures that were there.
That night, Todd sets up his tent amidst Chaco's ancient ruins. He falls into a deep sleep when suddenly he is awoken by a bizarre sensation.
I describe it as a snap. It was like an internal experience of light and sound.
All of a sudden, Todd is hit by sensations sweeping through him, as if some external force is trying to take control of his mind and his body.
It felt like it was something that was coming in, an entity, a spirit, a person that wanted to talk but was very angry with it. It wanted to tell me something but wanted to speak through my voice, through my own body.
Struggling to understand, Todd tries to communicate with the unseen power.
I asked this entity what it wanted, and this voice said inside of me, "You've got to leave because you don't respect this." It scared me. It scared me very much.
What could explain the terrifying presence trying to possess Todd's body and mind?
Maybe this is an angered person from a material realm, from a time that somebody lived and then died and their spirit kind of lingers on.
Could these forces be echoes of Chaco's past inhabitants? Todd Hayen's experience is not unique. Other visitors to Chaco report similar terrifying encounters. June 2010. Don Gellinella explores the highlands 6 miles north of Chaco Canyon. He ventures miles from the nearest road when he notices disturbing changes in the desert.
It was deadly quiet there. I mean, you could hear your heart beating. That's how quiet it was. It was eerie. I was just about to turn around, and I saw something unusual amongst the sagebrush.
Don makes a shocking discovery. The body of an animal, unlike anything he's ever seen.
At first I thought it was a dog, but when I looked closely, I could see that it had some features that were very unusual. The snout was elongated, more like a tapir, and it had a very large canine tooth. It had elongated back legs, which ended in a strange hoof-like shape.
More disturbing is the gaping hole in the side of the carcass. Unlike the bite wound of a predator, the mark is perfectly round. Its precision is almost surgical.
Inside, there was just a void. I couldn't see any internal organs. I didn't see any insects, blood or anything like that, but it was just sterile. There was nothing around it.
What could explain this otherworldly creature or its disturbing wounds? Some believe the answer is intimately connected with the native people's ancestral past and one of Chaco's most feared phenomena.
The Native Americans speak of these malevolent entities which can enter a person. or even an animal.
For centuries, Native Americans have described terrifying shape-shifting creatures capable of possessing their victims. They are called skinwalkers.
A skinwalker can actually take the form of any animal it wishes, depending on its power, and most of the time those animals are canine, dog-like, wolf-like. They can run through fences, seem to disappear. Their tracks can go from being completely trackable to shallower and shallower to the point where that disappears as well.
Well, this hole in the animal could be the exit point of whatever spirit had taken over this animal. Did what it had to do and then exited out and just left this carcass on the ground.
According to legend, skinwalkers can take over not only the bodies of their victims, but also their minds. Could this explain Todd Haynes' terrifying encounter at Chaco?
Skinwalkers traditionally feed off of people's emotions. There's many cases of skinwalkers doing things for the sole purpose of making people scared.
They'll get inside your head and they'll talk as if they're coming out of you, but they're not really you, and you can kind of identify that something is taking you over.
If skinwalkers are responsible for these harrowing encounters, where did they come from? Some believe the answers might be found not only in the ruins of Chaco Canyon, but in the sky above them.
I looked up and there was this massive lit object in the sky. I just knew it was something incredibly powerful.
Chaco Culture National Historical Park in northwestern New Mexico. Here, malevolent spirits called skinwalkers are said to roam Chaco's ruins, taking possession of people's minds and viciously mutilating animals in the area. These terrifying events aren't the only ones occurring here. Visitors have also reported other shocking encounters. June 22nd, 2013. Eileen Meyer tours in the ancient ruins of Chaco. A frequent visitor to the area, she is drawn to the park's mysterious structures and ancient monuments.
Sometimes I get a little fearful because it's this big, scary place. So the place that I really wanted to go was Casa Rinconada, the largest kiva at Chaco Canyon. I went by myself, I hiked up there, and I was very excited about that.
Eileen approaches the circular structure where the ancient inhabitants of Chaco conducted religious ceremonies. As she draws closer, she is suddenly overwhelmed by powerful emotions.
I stood and was looking over the kiva, and I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like downloads are happening. Like there's a whole lot of activity.
Eileen's uncontrollable feelings continue deep into the night. Unable to sleep, she wanders the mysterious ruins of Chaco.
So I was in kind of an altered state, I would call it. There was so much activity in my consciousness. It was just, I was vibrating, I was alive and awake. It's scary and exciting at the same time.
Venturing a short distance from the campsite, Eileen is suddenly confronted by an astonishing sight.
I looked up and there was this lit object in the sky. It looked massive, like a massive structure.
Inexplicably, the lights mirror Eileen's inner feelings of elation.
There was a vibration in the air that was just intense and magical and wonderful all at the same time.
Mesmerized, Eileen is once again overwhelmed by the same forces that swept through her body earlier that day.
I'm standing there staring at this, thinking I was having just the most incredible epiphany, joyful experience, probably of my life.
What can explain Eileen's powerful uplifting experience when others have terrifying encounters? Some believe the answer lies with Chaco's builders, the Anasazi, and their use of a science called archaeoastronomy.
Archaeoastronomy is based on the concept that the Anasazi people had a lot more insight into the movement of not only the sun and the moon, but also the stars. And when we look at the features of Chaco Canyon, there are solstice alignments, there are equinox alignments, and there are even alignments to the sun itself.
Incredibly, the Anasazi are believed to have aligned their buildings to control how sound waves move through the canyon.
You can drop a rock on one side of the canyon and you can hear it on the other side. And they were able to hone skills that other ancient ones weren't able to hone.
The fact that Chaco Canyon has such sophisticated archaeoastronomy features attests to the brilliance of their people.
It's claimed the Anasazi had such advanced knowledge, they aligned their great monuments to amplify energy flowing through the canyon. Some believe this could explain the intense experiences that people have in the park. The Anasazi built here for 800 years. Then, without warning, the inexplicable happened.
As quickly as the Chaco Canyon culture blossomed, it also disappeared, without a trace. Around the year 1250, the people just vanished.
What can explain the sudden disappearance of the Anasazi, and how did they acquire the knowledge to build such remarkable structures? A discovery by hikers in 1972 may provide the answer.
They weren't sure what it was, or exactly what it did, how it worked, but it certainly was otherworldly.
Chaco Culture National Historical Park is home to the greatest indigenous architecture in the Americas. It's believed these impressive structures are aligned to create a powerful energy vortex that could explain the intense experiences of many visitors. Even more remarkable is that the Anasazi who built these structures over 1,000 years ago vanished without a trace. Where did they go, and why did they leave? A discovery many years ago may provide a clue. 1972, a group of hikers explores a remote area of the park. They move deeper into the canyon when they discover something on the ground. One of them begins to dig.
A group of hikers stumbled upon a number of artifacts. Things that you might expect to have been left there by some Native American tribes. Pieces of pottery, which isn't uncommon for this area, certainly.
They find items dating back to the 8th century. As they continue to dig, they come across a strange metal disc etched with mysterious symbols. The symbols do not resemble anything they've ever seen.
This device just made no sense as far as being a Native American artifact. They notified the authorities, and they were very interested in this device, and then it was acquired by the government.
It's claimed that U.S. intelligence agents arrived to acquire the disc and unlock its secrets. Their project is given the top-secret code name, Ancient Arrow.
Unfortunately, they hit a dead end. They couldn't figure out what this was, what it was supposed to do, how it worked, even what its true purpose was.
It would take 22 years before Chaco Canyon surrenders more clues to help solve this mystery.
Well, in 1994, there was a landslide in this canyon, and it opened up an entrance into a cave system.
It's claimed the government quickly sends in a team to investigate. They discover a series of 23 interconnected caverns bored into solid rock. In the 23rd and final chamber, they discover a curious object that defies explanation. It is a large disc of unknown material whose purpose is a mystery.
They weren't sure what it was, or exactly what it did, how it worked, what it meant, but it certainly was otherworldly.
The agents take the disc to a lab for analysis.
After several years of trying, they were finally able to break the code and open the disk. And what they found was absolutely astounding.
8,000 pages of information from a people calling themselves the Wingmakers.
The Wingmakers identified themselves as representatives of a future version of humanity that lived some 750 years in our future. That makes them time travelers.
Did these time travelers help the Anasazi build their great structures? Are the Wingmakers key to explaining the mysteries of Chaco Canyon? Incredibly, some claim the truth does not lie with visitors from the future. It lies with visitors from another world.
All the aspects of Chaco was planned and designed in purpose.
How this could have occurred is either they were master astronomers or maybe there was some kind of contact with extraterrestrial Pleiadians.
Chaco Culture National Historical Park is a powerful place where some visitors report intense feelings of either fear or joy. It's claimed the area is also home to malevolent spirits called skinwalkers and to caverns containing mysterious artifacts allegedly left by human time travelers. But Chaco's biggest mystery is the sudden disappearance some 700 years ago of the Anasazi, the original builders of these vast and complex structures. What can explain all these strange events, and are they connected? Some believe the answer may be found in the layout of these ancient ruins.
One thing that's very unique about Chaco Canyon is the displacement of the archaeological features throughout the 12-mile canyon.
Pueblo Bonito, the largest and most sacred structure of Chaco Canyon, was built by the Anasazi over 1,000 years ago. Remarkably, its kivas align with a distant and mystically powerful star cluster known as the Pleiades. Many wonder how the Anasazi people could have acquired the tools and the knowledge to align with this mysterious celestial body, located 440 light years from Earth.
How this could have occurred is either they were master astronomers and they had some way of observing the Pleiades star system from here on Earth, or maybe there was some kind of contact with extraterrestrial Pleiadians.
Some believe in a shocking theory that the Earth was designed long ago by a highly intelligent alien species, and that Chaco Canyon was constructed to be a portal between our planet and Pleiades.
All the aspects of Chaco was planned and designed in purpose, just the way an architect would do a drawing for a building, or even a mock-up or a computer CG design for it. That was done for Chaco.
Richard Leviton also claims the Anasazi could communicate with Earth's original designers. This could explain how they were able to align their buildings so precisely with the Pleiades star cluster.
And they would have taken regular meetings with the higher-ups that direct Earth reality, and they would say, can you guys do like 300 years at Chaco? We need to have the place occupied and maintained and lived in for a while for the benefit of the Earth.
If Chaco Canyon is a portal to other realms, it could explain the existence of skinwalkers, who some claim have terrified visitors and mutilated animals in the area.
What's so interesting about the skinwalkers is there are particular areas that the Native American people would completely avoid visiting. And in these areas, there were rumors of creatures coming out of portals, appearing out of nowhere, maybe even attacking them.
Skinwalkers are commonly seen in portal areas or areas that have portal activity. The veil is thinner in these areas, and being thinner, they have basically more power.
Interdimensional portals could also explain how humans from the future were able to visit Chaco centuries ago. They could also explain Chaco Canyon's most enduring mystery, the disappearance of the Anasazi people.
Maybe they stepped through the portal, which Chaco Canyon has been described as, and went maybe up to the Pleiades.
I propose that they left because their job was done. You could even think of it as a contract. We'll let Chaco be dormant for a while, and we'll go stimulate some other place.
Where the Anasazi disappeared to is still one of the world's most baffling mysteries. Whoever they were, their legacy lives on in the great monuments of Chaco Culture National Historical Park, where powerful forces will continue to flow, impacting the minds and spirits of visitors for eternity.
There are places on the planet, and I believe Chaco is one of them, that feels like the heart of Mother Earth, where you get in touch with what's natural and what's real.
It feels like a special place. It's so beautifully primeval. There's just a sense that you're going back in time when you visit Chaco. It's so quiet, and the sky is so vast. It feels like a very spiritual place.
That's why Chaco Canyon is the cradle of North American civilization.
2004, a Colorado detention officer is on his way to work when he sees a giant ball of light following his truck.
This thing kept coming, and flames were coming off of it. I didn't know what it was.
This valley is one of the strangest places on Earth, and I'm not kidding you.
This is Mysteries at the National Parks. Great Sand Dunes National Park is located in southern Colorado, towering 750 feet above the valley floor. The ever-shifting dunes are the tallest in North America and are believed to be 500,000 years old. They are dwarfed only by the lush Sangre de Cristo Mountains, forming a rocky wall around the eastern perimeter of the San Luis Valley. Despite its natural beauty, the park is also home to disturbing encounters and gruesome events that have mystified visitors for centuries. December 2014, on a large ranch outside the park, cattle rancher Thomas Miller is sleeping.
I was in bed. It was about the middle of the night. Something woke me up.
Thomas suddenly notices a strange light shining inside his bedroom.
I see these two like red balls out the window, and they were glowing.
Terrified, Thomas suddenly becomes aware of a strange sensation passing through him.
It was like goosebumps going all the way through your body. I really didn't know what was going on. And as soon as I seen them or they seen me, they just disappeared. I was scared.
Then suddenly, the bed begins to shake. Thomas is paralyzed and unable to move.
I was rigid. I had my hands to my side, and it stopped. And then a few minutes later, it started again. And the bed was vibrating, and then it stopped. Shook me up, all right.
What could explain the strange lights and the violent shaking of the bed? And how are they connected with the paralyzing sensations flowing through Thomas's body? Thomas is not the only one to have fallen victim to such phenomenon. Other residents in the area have also reported terrifying encounters with mysterious lights. 2004. Larry Messaline is driving down a county road west of the park. He's on his way to the Saguache County Sheriff's Office, where he works as a detention officer. Halfway to his destination, he suddenly notices a bright blue light behind him.
I just happened to look in my rearview mirror, and there it was. I was trying to count it off as being headlights or a tractor or anything, but this thing kept coming, and it seemed like it was following me.
Hoping to put more space between himself and the light, Larry speeds up. But the light also accelerates and begins to close in on his truck. Only then does he get a good look at what's been chasing him. something he's never seen before.
It was really a big, huge sphere of blue flame. It was pretty good size, and it just, at that point, it was traveling fast.
Terrified, Larry desperately tries to outrun the menacing blue sphere.
I didn't know if it was a meteor. I didn't know what it was. I mean, it was just this blue sphere, and flames were coming off of it.
The flaming sphere follows him for miles, anticipating his every move. When suddenly, it changes course.
I pulled over, and it just shot over the top of me and went over the top of the mountain range. You're talking in the hundreds and hundreds of miles an hour. It freaked me out. It was definitely something that was strange and unusual. And I didn't know what could have caused this whole thing to take place.
What can possibly explain the object that chased Larry Messaline down a county road? And could it be connected to the strange lights that terrified Thomas Miller? Stories of such menacing lights have long been reported in the skies above the park.
The San Luis Valley, which is the greater area where the park is located, is very well known for light phenomena. We had sheriffs, law enforcement officers reporting lights that would chase them. We're talking about balls of light that seem to be intelligently controlled.
The abundance of these sightings is why local resident Judy Messaline built a watchtower near the park.
And all I can tell anybody is you need to look up once in a while, because it's amazing what goes on in that atmosphere up there. Just here, we've had 110 sightings since 2000. The majority of those sightings have been over in the area of the Great Sand Dunes. The entire valley is a hotspot.
Since building her watchtower, Judy has seen an increase in the number of strange lights over Great Sand Dunes National Park.
Most of them are these bizarre lights that just dance. I mean, they go here, there, I mean, just like that. All different colored lights. We've all put our heads together trying to understand what's happening. This valley is one of the strangest places on Earth, and I'm not kidding you.
What could explain this bizarre activity in the skies over Great Sand Dunes National Park? And why are residents and visitors being terrorized? Some believe the secret to this mystery may be revealed in a couple's terrifying encounter while camping in the park.
He didn't know what was happening. He thought it was the end of the world.
Great Sand Dunes National Park, nestled in the Rocky Mountains in south-central Colorado. It is 233 square miles of contrasting landscapes, from snow-capped mountains to arid, windswept deserts. Though some call it the quietest place in America, that silence is sometimes shattered by terrifying encounters. Inexplicable balls of fire and paralyzing lights have been reported harassing area residents. What could explain these bizarre events? July 2008. It's a cold, windy night outside Great Sand Dunes National Park. A couple is on a camping trip. They're sleeping when they are suddenly awoken by a strange, flashing light outside their tent.
It just seemed like it engulfed the whole tent. They wanted to see what was going on.
The couple step outside and are shocked by what they see. A strange ball of light hovers right in front of them.
They just thought that was really, really bizarre and very strange, and it frightened them.
To their astonishment, the ball of light seems to sense their presence.
They're like looking at this thing, and what are we looking at? What are we seeing here?
Suddenly, the ball of light undergoes a shocking transformation.
They can only describe it as a portal. And as they looked at this portal, these cowboys are riding horses, yelling. They thought it was the end of the world. They didn't know what was going to happen.
Too frightened to move or speak, the couple watch. when suddenly the portal abruptly closes.
And they looked at each other and it's like, what did we just experience? What did we just see?
Is there an explanation for this frightening encounter? Some believe it may be evidence of secret government activity in the park.
The location of the San Luis Valley and the Dunes National Park is very interesting because less than a couple hours away, we have Colorado Springs, which is the home of the United States Air Force Academy. Then we have about 45 miles away on one of the edges of the valley, Dulce, New Mexico. There's a lot of people out there who theorize that the light activity we're seeing could be connected to actual experiments the military is conducting.
Maybe the military is doing something so top secret that it seems like something out of science fiction.
While some suspect classified military experiments, others believe the portal is far too advanced, and that a government program doesn't explain the area's mysterious past. When the first European explorers arrived, they were mesmerized by what they saw in the skies over the park.
Reports of strange lights and phenomena go back as far as the 1500s here at the dunes. Now in the 1600s, the Spanish explorers, including the Reverend Francisco and Don Diego de Vargas, reported seeing the same type of activity over the dunes in the surrounding area. Now these things were so impressive to them, it left them with this sense of just awe and amazement. They couldn't explain it. It persists, the same type of sightings to this day.
What can explain this mystery that has been unsolved for over 500 years? Could there be a clue in the bizarre cowboy apparition reported at Great Sand Dunes National Park? November 1997, a rancher comes across a gruesome sight.
It was laying on its side, and the whole side of its face was just cored out to the bone, and the eye socket was completely removed. But what the heck happened to this animal?
In Great Sand Dunes National Park, there are reports that strange lights in the sky have been terrifying local residents and visitors to the area. Many believe this phenomenon has existed since the first European explorers arrived here. What can explain this mystery, which has endured for over 500 years? Some believe that a series of inexplicable attacks in the area could provide a clue. November 30th, 1997. A cattle rancher walks through his field outside Great Sand Dunes National Park. He's looking for a stray calf that wandered away from its herd. As he moves deeper into the field, he makes a gruesome discovery. A dead calf whose body has been savagely mutilated.
It was an 8-month-old female calf that was laying on its side, and the whole side of its face was just cored out to the bone, and the eye socket was completely removed. Now, I can't imagine what the rancher thought when he first saw that, walking out and seeing this animal with those type of wounds and incisions.
With near surgical precision, all the flesh has been stripped away from the calf's right mandible. And a 10-inch diameter core has been drilled 18 inches deep into its body. More disturbing is the absence of any sign that it was killed by a predator.
Absolutely no marks, no bite marks, no claw marks, so here's just a dead animal. It's a big mystery. The rancher, I can imagine, is just in shock. What the heck happened to this animal? He has no idea if he has a defense against it, and he has no idea if whatever it did to the animal could actually do it to him or his family.
Many other ranchers in the area have also been terrorized by these grotesque and inexplicable mutilations.
Really upsets the ranchers. They really don't know what to do. They don't know how to defend themselves from it. So it's kind of a scary situation for them.
Since the 1970s, cattle mutilations have become so common that ranchers' livelihoods have been seriously threatened.
It was estimated there were about 10,000 different cases of animal mutilation from 1975 to 1979. This was an epidemic. Ranchers were losing millions of dollars in revenue. They needed help.
As the number of cattle mutilations continues to increase, the situation becomes more and more desperate. Finally, the FBI decides to launch an investigation.
It was called Operation Animal Mutilation. The FBI was completely baffled. They couldn't find evidence of animal predation. No chewing marks, no animal marks, no messy, bloody scene that you'd expect when an animal comes to eat. There was also no evidence of human involvement.
Although the FBI couldn't explain the cattle mutilations in the area, there is one clue that may explain this bizarre phenomenon.
These mutilations were often accompanied with light phenomena, orbs, that sometimes would appear just before or after an animal mutilation occurred.
Similar reports were made the night before this rancher found one of his calves, savagely mutilated near the park. Witnesses claim to have seen balls of lights in the sky.
The same night, there was a couple of motorists going down 17. They definitely saw something fly over that same area. Could those balls of light actually be associated with the animal mutilations? Well, I've done enough investigation to say, yeah, I think they are.
What can explain a possible link between the numerous cattle mutilations in the area and menacing lights in the sky above? Some believe the only explanation is an extraterrestrial presence in the park.
This area is often referred to as the Bermuda Triangle of the West. Some people theorize that extraterrestrials come in and out with stealth technology without being noticed.
Basically, an animal is picked up from location A and is taken to an unknown location, and the mutilation is done there. So who's ever doing it is not leaving any evidence.
Some of them had bones that were broken from the inside as if they'd been dropped from a very high altitude, as if a craft, maybe a UFO, had dropped them.
Further evidence is the shocking claim that micrometeorites, pebble-sized meteor fragments, have been found on the bodies of mutilated animals. For UFO investigator Debbie Ziegelmeyer, this suggests the presence of alien spacecraft.
I believe that a craft that has come from the atmosphere has entered into our atmosphere, and particles have fallen off of this craft and landed on the cow. So absolutely, I believe that extraterrestrials could be doing the mutilation of these animals.
If extraterrestrials are responsible for these mutilations, who are they and what do they want? The answer may reveal the park's most ancient secret and could explain why the area is such a hotspot of alleged UFO encounters.
They're here to study us. They're here to conduct experiments that might later be applied to humans.
Strange lights, mesmerizing and terrifying visitors have been reported in the skies above Great Sand Dunes National Park for centuries. Many believe they are UFOs and that an alien race could be responsible for thousands of cattle mutilations in the area. If true, who are these extraterrestrials and why are they here? An answer may be found in the legends of Native American tribes who for thousands of years have come to the area for worship.
It was a sacred place for them to come and pray and hunt and give thanks to the great creator for everything they did.
Hopi legends say that thousands of years ago, a mysterious race called the Ant People rescued their tribes from a series of cataclysmic floods and earthquakes.
This was instigated by light activity in the skies, fireballs, that signaled them to go to this place where they were then taken underground and cared for by what they describe as the Ant People.
It is said that for several generations, the Ant People protected the indigenous tribes underground until the cataclysm stopped and it was safe to return to the surface and repopulate the earth. Who were the Ant People? Were they a technologically advanced race from another world? Strangely, the Navajo and Apache tribes also have stories of unusual visitors from the distant past.
Many Native Americans have accounts of people seeing seed pod type craft flying through the air. In the Navajo tradition, they believe that this is a signal of the star people coming to the Earth.
Could these flying seed pods actually be alien spacecraft? Could they be the same as what's been reported in the skies above the park for centuries?
Well, the star people are the ones that come from the heavens down here, and it's extraterrestrials. And they come out of the ships and they do land here.
Why would an alien race like the Star People conduct experiments on cattle in Great Sand Dunes National Park? Many believe they're not here to study cattle, that ultimately they're here to study humans.
Well, the theory suggests because humans share a chromosome makeup that is so similar to bovine and other livestock that really they're here to study us. They're here to conduct experiments.
Some believe these alien experiments pose a real threat to humanity.
I personally don't believe that if aliens are visiting this planet that they're benevolent. They have their own agenda. We don't know what their agenda is.
Others disagree.
Let me ask you, would we still be here if they weren't for the good? If they were nasty, I don't think any of us would still be here.
It's claimed that Great Sand Dunes National Park is a gateway for aliens studying and terrifying residents and visitors alike. Many believe the park has held this dark secret for centuries, one that will continue here until the end of time.
If you were to ask me to describe the Great Sand Dunes National Park in one word, mystical.
You never know what you can find or what you can see when you come to the Great Sand Dunes.
The Great Sand Dunes is a phenomenal place. It's a mysterious place. I said, thank God we live here and we can visit it every day if we want.
2009, a young lawyer hiking in Yosemite National Park has a terrifying encounter.
And there he saw this young boy. He described as being Native American, and the man suddenly realized he was seeing a ghost.
This is Mysteries at the National Parks. Yosemite National Park, the country's most iconic wilderness area. Nearly 1,200 square miles of pristine California backcountry extending along the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Every year, millions are drawn to its magnificent natural splendors, such as the giant ancient sequoias and the granite cliffs of El Capitan. But it's also a place where some believe that dark and malevolent forces roam the landscape and danger lurks in unexpected corners. September 2009, a young attorney is hiking in Yosemite National Park. He arrives at the shore of Grouse Lake at around midday. He's in good shape, and it's been an easy hike. He's surprised when he suddenly feels overwhelmed with fatigue and sits down to rest. It's only a matter of minutes before he falls into a deep sleep.
He believes he slept for maybe 1 to 2 hours when he was jolted awake by what he described as a bizarre scream. He didn't know if it was an animal or a human.
Even more alarming, he has a strange feeling that someone is watching him.
He turned around very slowly, and there he saw this young boy. He described as being Native American.
The mysterious youth stares at him in silence. The man can't understand what the boy wants.
But then something else dawned on him. This boy was partially transparent, and the man suddenly realized he was seeing a ghost.
Terrified, the man flees into the forest. But his ordeal is not over.
He heard a voice behind him say, "Come back." This really terrified this man, who headed up the trail as quickly as he could, and he has never returned to Grouse Lake.
Who could this boy be? And what could explain the bizarre, unearthly scream heard that day? In 1857, Galen Clark, America's first park ranger, wrote in his memoirs that while exploring Yosemite, he also heard a strange wailing sound at Grouse Lake. He asked members of the local Native American Miwok tribe what kind of wild animal could make such a sound.
The Miwoks shook their heads knowingly, and they told him no, it was not an animal. It was the spirit that haunts that lake.
The Miwok said the spirit belonged to a young boy who drowned at the lake a long time ago.
And from that time forward, his ghost haunted the area, and anyone who ventured too close to the water would find themselves drugged into the lake, only to be drowned.
Bizarre incidents aren't just taking place within the park's boundaries. They're also occurring in the skies around it. August 21st, 2010, a family is on vacation, driving on Highway 99 west of Yosemite National Park. They're enjoying the scenery when suddenly something unusual interrupts the mood.
The passenger in the rear seat looked out the window, and on the horizon, she saw a craft, an unidentified craft.
It looks like some kind of aircraft hovering above the hillside. It has an unfamiliar shape, and the way it's levitating in the air is unlike anything she has ever seen.
She told the other two passengers, and they pulled over. As they got out of the car, they noticed that it was a triangular-shaped craft, and the craft was flying somewhat erratically.
They watch in amazement as the mysterious vessel loses control and crashes into a hill. The authorities respond quickly. As soon as the sun sets, a massive operation is launched at the crash site.
They appeared to be military vehicle trucks of some sort. There was a lighted area where the crash had been seen, as if lights had been propped up to focus on whatever it was that had crashed. And they heard helicopters as well, landing near where this incident had occurred.
When independent investigators arrive at the site the following morning, they're shocked by what they find. Absolutely nothing. The crash site has been scrubbed clean of all evidence of what happened. No debris, no downed aircraft, no sign of fire damage. It's as if the authorities had never been there at all.
With all of the activity that occurred on the hillside that night, for nothing to be there the following day, that is a telltale signal of some sort of military cover-up.
What could the military have been covering up that night at the crash site? Shockingly, Anthony Sanchez believes that what the family saw was a product of a secret government program to test experimental aircraft using alien technology.
Possibly what this family saw was a test flyover of a nuclear-powered aircraft. This has reverse-engineered alien technology. There's a disruptive magnetic engine which allows it to have electromagnetic propulsion. It's what gives its lift, its ability to hover silently.
Incredibly, the military has had a presence in the vicinity of Yosemite National Park for decades.
200 miles north is Beale Air Force Base, which is the most heavily black-budgeted Air Force installation in the country. And directly south of Yosemite is China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station, which is a test bed of top-secret aircraft.
The military has been active even within the park itself. In 1943, the U.S. Navy leased the Ahwahnee Hotel and converted it into a psychiatric military hospital.
The idea was that the tranquil setting would help the patients heal quicker. However, it didn't quite work out that way.
Instead of getting better, they rapidly deteriorated. No one can explain why. Some believe the patients saw ghosts roaming the park near the hospital, causing them to slip even deeper into madness.
One thing we do know is that the treatment of psychiatric patients was abruptly stopped within just a few months.
What happened to the patients at the Ahwahnee Hotel? Was it just a coincidence, or could there be a sinister reason for their sudden deterioration? An unusual disappearance in 1995 may provide a clue.
She goes missing less than 100 yards from the car and the road. It was as if Jean had simply vanished in thin air.
Yosemite National Park, America's wilderness playground, best known for its magnificent waterfalls and granite cliffs. But in and around its pristine valleys, reports of mysterious flying objects, secret military programs, and a sinister ghost reveal a dark side of this mountain paradise. What can explain this malevolent force that could also be responsible for inexplicable deaths in the area?
Yosemite is known as one of the nation's most dangerous parks. In its recorded history, there have been well over 900 deaths in the park alone.
Many of these fatalities involve cases of strange, sudden disappearances that leave unanswered questions in their wake. July 9th, 1995. 37-year-old Massachusetts businesswoman Jean Hesselschwert is visiting Yosemite National Park with her boyfriend, Mike. On the way to Glacier Point, the couple pull over by the side of the road and decide to go for a short walk.
It's a place they thought they could stretch their legs. Mike told Jean he was going to go up to a precipice to do some bird watching. He thought Jean was right behind him. He turned around
Jeannie!
And realized she wasn't there.
At first, Mike isn't worried. He figures Jean must have wandered off on another trail and goes to find her.
He looked for her for about 15 minutes. He talked to one of the park rangers. He questioned several of the tourists.
But no one has seen her.
Jeannie?
With growing alarm, Mike realizes something must have happened to Jean.
Within 45 minutes, a team was assembled and was scouring the area. Within 2 hours, helicopters were up in the air.
Searchers combed through 40 square miles of park territory without success. By the time the search is finally called off, authorities have found no clues to what happened to Jean Hesselschwert. Her disappearance is a complete mystery. Then, 2 months later, a gruesome discovery is made.
Jean Hesselschwert's body was found in Brideville Creek, about 3/4 of a mile up from the Brideville Fall.
But the mystery of Jean's disappearance is far from solved. Most puzzling of all, the odd location where her body was found, far from the trails used by park visitors.
How did she end up in such a remote terrain? Places where mountaineers and rock climbers and only those fishermen who are very familiar would ever dare go. How did she get there?
The case of Jean Hesselschwert's disappearance is filled with unanswered questions. But her story is not unique. There have been other cases of mysterious disappearances in the park, but shockingly, human remains are rarely found.
You should be able to find a body and recover it easily. But a lot of times this is not the case. Why is it here at Yosemite that so many people seem to disappear without a clue?
One theory that could explain the disappearances comes from the native Alwanichi. They believe a malevolent spirit known as the Pohono Wind could be responsible for many deaths.
This spirit roughly translates as the spirit of the evil wind, is known to lure people into the mist, compelling them to come closer and closer until they're just close enough that the wind rises up and pushes them to their deaths.
The Alwanichi themselves are so terrified of the evil wind spirit, they stay well away from Yosemite's famous waterfalls. While the Pohono Wind could explain some disappearances in the park, it's claimed there could be an even more terrifying explanation.
And the eyewitnesses describe it as being a very large creature.
Look!
They called it a dragon.
Yosemite National Park, a jewel of nature set within California's majestic Sierra Nevada mountains. Few venture beyond the 7 square miles of Yosemite Valley, but some of those that do claim to discover a land of dark forces, where a malevolent wind called Pohono may be responsible for a series of mysterious disappearances. But others believe there could be another, even more shocking force at work. February 2013, on the outskirts of Yosemite, as two young men approach their car, they're startled by a loud screeching sound in the sky.
Look!
But when they look up, they're shocked to see a creature unlike anything they've ever seen.
The body was about the size of a Doberman pinscher. It has a long tail, be described as dark color, and it has a long neck, a long pointed head crest, which is like a cone coming out the back of the head.
It appears to be half bird, half lizard, like something out of a nightmare. To their horror, the creature seems to have seen the two men. It swoops around and heads directly for them. Then, just as suddenly, it veers off. They watch it as it heads for the distant peaks of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
They were shocked by it, started talking to people, and found that somebody had seen the same animal flying through that same park just days earlier.
What did the men see that day near Yosemite National Park? Researcher Jonathan Whitcomb has a shocking theory. He believes it's a pterodactyl, a prehistoric flying dinosaur that once roamed the skies 50 million years ago.
We believe that they are actually animals thought to be extinct but actually still live. Yosemite has vast wilderness areas, and there's countless places where it could be hiding.
Could the presence of these flying have something to do with the pattern of disappearances in Yosemite? Whitcomb believes a pterodactyl attack is consistent with the evidence surrounding one of the most notorious disappearances in the park, the Jean Hesselschwerdt case.
When they eventually found her, she was a long distance down the mountain in a place that doesn't make sense, unless you consider the possibility it might have been one of these attacks from these large flying creatures.
Other disappearances in the park have also involved bodies inexplicably ending up at different elevations, like the case of a 12-year-old boy who went missing while hiking with his parents.
His body was found over 1,400 feet higher in elevation than where he disappeared. This in itself is unusual because most hikers, most people who are lost, tend to go downhill.
Other possible evidence of a link to pterodactyls is the fact that in each of these cases, search dogs tracked the missing person for a short distance until they suddenly lost the scent.
What happens is the person is dragged perhaps for a short distance by the creature, and the creature eventually gets the person up into the air. Then the dogs can't track it any further.
How could pterodactyls that should have been extinct for millions of years come to be roaming the skies over Yosemite National Park?
We don't know really exactly what's going on. There's so much that we don't know about them.
What could account for prehistoric animals attacking and killing visitors in the area? Some believe the answer may lie in a bizarre incident that took place 2 decades earlier.
Time seems to be slowing down, but if you'd been watching Christy at the time that she went into this, you might have seen her vanish.
A series of unexplained deaths and disappearances in the lush valleys of Yosemite National Park are being blamed on an evil spirit wind known as the Pohono. Others claim an even more perplexing force is behind these disturbing events. Prehistoric pterodactyls attacking and carrying away victims. If true, what could explain the existence of these long extinct creatures in the park? 1995. After a long day hiking in Yosemite Valley, a young girl named Christy, along with her family, stopped for ice cream at an outdoor cafe. But then she senses something she cannot explain, something strange. It's as if the very fabric of reality is shifting before her eyes.
Time around her seems to be slowing down. She gets separated from her family. She calls for help, but no help arrives.
Trapped in this bizarre alternate reality, Christy doesn't know what to do. It's as if she somehow left her own world and can't find her way back.
She feels she's in some unusual place and time. And for some reason, there's more people there than she feels there should be.
And then, as suddenly as it began, her bizarre ordeal is over.
The circumstances, the environment changes back to normal. She's able to reconnect with her family.
What happened to Christy that day in Yosemite National Park? Was her experience real or a momentary hallucination? Some believe that what Christy experienced was a tear in the fabric of time, called a time slip.
This is a moment when there's a brief interface between the past and the present. And during this time, witnesses can have very unusual experiences.
It's believed a time slip occurs when there are fluctuations in the space-time continuum. And these seem to occur with great strength at Yosemite National Park.
These fluctuations and variations at Yosemite create a kind of anomaly in the timeline, so that it's possible that people or creatures from the past could accidentally slip through, creating a time slip experience.
Could these time slips be powerful enough to allow creatures from prehistory to travel through time and reappear in the present?
A time slip in Yosemite would explain the appearance of pterodactyls. Sightings of unusual creatures are common at these electromagnetic vortexes.
Some believe time slips could also be behind other bizarre phenomena, like the malevolent Pohono wind that's blamed for unexplained deaths, and ghostly apparitions seen by visitors.
There's a dimensional time shift here. That ghosts are coming in and out of different time periods because of the vortexes that might be present.
A time slip could well explain this because it's a moment when we have a blend of both of those portions of time.
Yosemite National Park will remain a unique place where its claimed entities from the prehistoric past coexist with the present in mysterious and troubling ways. Much remains to be learned about the mechanisms behind these strange activities. But what is not in doubt is the intense fascination the park holds for anyone who visits it.
The experience of seeing Yosemite is almost indescribable and unimaginable. It's so awesome, so impressive, and such magnificent scale that it puts you into a kind of expanded state of consciousness.
If I had to use one word to describe Yosemite, I think I would say compelling. But it's hard to encompass everything about this park in one simple word. It's beautiful, it's breathtaking, it's mysterious, and it's dangerous.